My sister pulled me to one side of the school where they couldn't see us. I signaled with my hand to let her know I would stand guard while she spoke to me. I used my solar blessing to leave an aura of fire in the surroundings, allowing me to know who was coming or what was coming through the temperature. After doing this, I stood there waiting for my sister's response, which didn't take long to arrive.
One of the two caused the death of her parents to protect the other.
It's not something that surprises me. Murder or homicide is common here, even among families. I don't know what it's like in other schools, but here there are usually people of dubious origins, and it's becoming common. I even seem to remember that in the book the grandfather of the person told me about visiting universes where all people are not blessed. In the book, he said that in schools there were usually problems, fights, arguments, even murders. I'm a little surprised that it doesn't happen here, although, well, it does happen often, but in a different sense. That doesn't matter. I looked at my sister when I finished speaking, a little confused. Sister, what's so special or strange about that? My sister crossed her arms and smiled ironically.
I didn't say it for that reason, I expressed myself that way to get your attention.
Why would you want to get my attention? I don't understand. What would make my sister want to get my attention? Did she see something in them? This isn't the first or even the 10th time my sister uses her blessing to learn something about new people or classmates. I do that too. When I don't, my sister does it. It's a good way to know who we're surrounded by or talking to. I'd even say other classmates do it too. Even though we're supposed to be in class, I prefer to arrive late and listen to my sister's answer. Even so far, I've only felt the presence of anyone except the twins. People who just walk around the building, ignoring us.
Well, brother, you see, both have the blessing of the lightning or thunder element. With how hot that element is, it's the perfect time for a combination.
I paused for a few seconds, thinking, because I couldn't find any flaws in his argument. But there's a slight or very big problem, sister. Apart from the fact that one of them is a murderer, they are the new ones, they just arrived today. My sister smiled and gestured approval with her hand.
Good luck.
I guess it's easier to make friends with strangers and get to know each other slowly than with people who already know you or have had problems in the past. This partly reminds me of grandfather's stories, where the heroes make friends with strangers they discover during their adventures. Also, since my companions have already met me for a long time, it would be strange to start talking to them suddenly. Although it would make sense given the test, and it would be an alliance of convenience. Honestly, I don't trust that much. I feel like it leads to betrayal. And not because of grandfather's stories, but because without a deeper bond of friendship, it would be easy for them to betray me in that test. I don't know what the test is about yet, but I deduce it's to show our combat skills. I can hone my blessing enough to avoid sabotage, and in case of a treacherous assassination, I have my sister. And while it would serve to showcase our combat prowess as eclipsed siblings, I prefer to keep it as a hidden or surprise ability. I looked at my sister and gave a relaxed smile. Okay, I thought about it.
Really? Tell me.
No. Ignoring my sister's surprise, I turned my back on her to deactivate the aura. As I did, we both teleported outside the classroom. We didn't go directly, as we stayed to look around, since the professor wouldn't be back yet. My sister likes to see if there are any spirits or dead people nearby, but this time there weren't any, which disappointed my sister. So we decided to enter the classroom. We were about to enter the class together until I stopped dead in my tracks when I saw the twins from before arrive at the same time. It was a little awkward because we talked about them and even saw a glimpse of what they were really like. My sister, as always, remained serious and silent. One of the twins looked me straight in the eyes, then broke into a strange smile, while the other watched us seriously. I don't know why there was so much tension all of a sudden. I chose to ignore everything and entered the class as if nothing had happened. My sister followed me. The twins seemed to have stopped, thinking about something. As we entered, the teacher looked at us and scolded us. "Late again, Marhara brothers, what do you have to say?" We're already completely used to the teacher's scolding, so I just said the first thing that came to mind. I let out a fake laugh. "Excuse me, Professor, we had fun talking." My sister also supported me.
"We were talking about the future and life."
The professor gave a sarcastic smile. "Oh. Speaking of life, something new." The teacher didn't say or do anything else. He just stood there facing the class. My sister and I walked to our seats. The teacher only asks why we're late, but just like the schools on this planet, they don't care if you're late. In fact, there are some empty seats, some arrive later than others, and others are simply absent. Now that I think about it, I should read the book my grandfather told me about to find out if schools are like that in those other universes. My sister and I placed our backpacks behind our chairs and sat with our hands on the table. We've always sat next to each other to help each other and be able to talk more easily. But this time I paid a little more attention to my classmates' blessings. For now, I prefer not to think or see one of the twins as a possible classmate, although that thought didn't last. Both twins entered one after the other, walked up to the teacher, and then turned around to face everyone, the teacher standing in the middle of them both. Although I hadn't expected what they were going to say, much less that one of the twins would seek me out and stare at me. What's going on? Does my father have a red-haired or blonde-haired enemy who swore revenge on him? Well, colored hair is common, so that question doesn't make sense. Are they mercenaries? But if they are either of those things, why me? Even my sisters and my identity as Blaze and Hanae's children hasn't been revealed yet until we become holy knights. I think it's all my imagination and I'm just exaggerating because of a simple, strange smile and a fixed gaze. I looked at my sister, who remained serious and silent, observing everything. I sighed and watched whatever was happening.